Hi, this is Joy with Stuff to Discuss, and I'm here with Denise and also Jason. Hi, Jason. Welcome.
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. Welcome to One-on-One with Stuff to Discuss. And of course, we're starting this channel because we want to give insight and positivity to people's lives and journey as they go through as far as YouTube, the Hollywood industry and stuff like that. So so far we've been successful with our interviews. So we just thought we'll bring Jason along to go ahead and give us some insight on the content creator that he is. That how do you what it is that you go through, and so we'll just get started.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay, so Jay, for people who don't know, what does a content creator mean?
I mean, it's definitely like a general term, but content creator just means that you're producing normally some type of video content, either for YouTube or maybe you live stream on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, or you're basically just making content in the form of video or artwork or imagery, normally for a specific like niche, if you will. For me, that happens to be gaming, but you're pretty much just, the way I see it is you're trying to provide value for someone in a certain niche, whether that's through education, entertainment, comedy, stuff like that. So that's what I would classify it as.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Now, can content creators take on any form? I mean, I guess that's what you was trying to tell us, that you can, the way you described it, but what form would you think that you fit in, that you're taking on, since you explained different aspects of it?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Like content creation is not like, it's not like a one topic thing at all. Like it could literally be about anything. Like some of the biggest content creators on YouTube are makeup artists and beauticians and stuff like that. I myself happen to be in the gaming industry, so I focus a lot on popular video games that I like to play and I know other people like to play. Okay. And I tend to, I give them, I consider myself like an above average player because I spend so much time doing it. So I feel like I can offer some insight and advice to people who are trying to learn and improve their skills in whatever video game it happens to be. Same thing with, people who are very, very good makeup artists. They can offer their skills and advice to people learning how to apply different foundations better or stuff like that. So really it could be any topic in content creation. It really just depends on what you're passionate about and what you have the most knowledge in, I think.
No, that's good. No, got you. All right, Denise.
Would you say being a content creator is like having a job?
Yeah, I've worked a lot of jobs in my 30 years on this planet so far. And, and while physically, no, it's not the most demanding, like mentally and just like your organizational skills have to be in check because you can fall behind so quick. And there's a lot of little skills that you have to learn like you would at a real job, whether it's an office job or something physical. That you have to learn, and there's no college course for being a content creator as of now. So you have to go out and find that information yourself. So that itself feels like a job.
Right.
But then just being self-disciplined every day too. Like you got to wake up and you got to start editing. You got to start like, okay, putting this together. What's my next piece coming out? It's 24/7. It's on my mind. It's the most mentally demanding endeavor I've ever tried to do for sure. 100%.
But fun, of course,
yes.
right? Because you wouldn't do it.
Yes. If you don't enjoy the process, you're going right down. It's not, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what would you say that makes a good content creator? I mean, because a lot of them, we can, say, hey, yeah, we could do this, but what would you say makes a good one?
I kind of touched on it a little bit before, but like 110%, the best thing that makes a good content creator is like, you just have to provide value to people. And you have to either, like I said, value could be anything. Value is kind of subjective, but you have to be teaching someone something. You have to be entertaining, so making someone laugh, making someone feel some type of emotion with your content. It's either got to be entertainment or making someone feel something that they can relate to, or it's got to be education. I think those are the two biggest things that make a successful content creator. If you can tap into one of those things in people's minds and get them hooked, I mean, you're on the right track 100%. So
gotcha. That's good to know. Yeah. All right, Denise.
Is there any particular brand that you would like to sponsor your content, and if so, why?
Ooh,
I know we're good with these questions, huh?
That's something that, yeah, that's something that I have thought about, but I haven't thought about enough, I'd say. But honestly, if there's one company that I've used their products forever, and I still am right now, probably the gaming company Razer. I've used Razer products, and Denise can tell you that I've used them forever.
Okay.
And like that's a company that I stand by as far as like peripherals for the computer, so keyboards, mice, headsets, stuff like that. So I probably Razer, I'd say, if I had to pick one. Yeah.
Okay, got you. All right. And now, which category would you say as a creator that you fall under? Because you said you're gamer, right? But is there any other type of category that you would like to fall under?
Like I said, I think I'll probably always stay in the gaming industry just because I've been involved with it for going on 20 years at this point.
Oh wow. Okay.
I started gaming real young whenever we were able to get our first like PC with the internet back in like the late 90s, and I've always had consoles since I was a child. So I'd probably say gaming is probably predominantly where I'll stay, but if I ever had to pick a different thing to kind of dabble into, I would like to do like maybe vlogging style work where people can kind of see into like what goes into the gaming stuff that I do, but it would always probably be focused around the gaming industry, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't want, that sounds good.
Yeah. So either that or like maybe more of like a nature channel, because I'm super big into like hiking in the outdoors. So that'd be like a completely
I
different
like that
to try. But
yeah, I'm into that too. I like travel channels because travel is. I should go for that next. Yeah, it's like but that'll be awesome to see because then you can bring a lot of people your way. Yeah,
right.
Gotcha. All right, Denise.
Exactly.
Oh no, go ahead. No, did you have something else?
I would say that if you were, and this goes for anybody who's aspiring to be a content creator, if you're gonna make a YouTube channel, or let's just focus, I'm just speaking in terms of YouTube here, but
gotcha.
So for me, most of my audience right now is all 100% involved in the gaming industry because I make no other content besides stuff that's just has to do with gaming in some facet. But if I were a channel, I would probably make a completely separate channel because there's not a lot of crossover there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
I would probably try to grow a separate channel that it was like more of like a passion project, and if it ever took off, I would continue from there. So
okay, wow, look at you. All right, awesome. All right, Denise, hit him with a question.
When looking for different platforms for others to see your work, what social media do you turn to?
To be honest, I am always following. You guys may or may not have heard of him. I'm sure you probably have, but Gary Vaynerchuk. I follow Gary V a lot on Twitter, and I watch his YouTube content constantly because that man is on top of like new social media trends 24/7. So like when I got into TikTok because of him, this was like 6 months ago, and this was before the whole TikTok wave started happening, and before it was a lot of just younger kids with like the dance trends and stuff like that. And he said last year, he's like, TikTok is going to be the next big thing. You need to get on it now. And I did. And if I didn't, I don't know if would have made the progress I did now. I don't know if, you know what I mean? So I always kind of look to Twitter, and Gary Vee is probably my biggest inspiration when I'm ever trying to find like, all right, what's the next thing to like get my audience going to or gain a new audience on. He's probably, so like if I'm looking for the next app, I'm looking at what he's saying, and then I'm making my judgment call based off that. So
no, yeah, he's amazing. He's totally dead on. Exactly. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, like that.
So, but you asked like platform wise, I tend to I look at a lot of stuff on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all day, 24/7, just looking for stuff. So
nice. Well, that's good. You keeping up with your skills and whatever, because you have to do that. Yeah, to keep going and know what's going on. That's very important.
Yeah, it's a constant thing, 24/7.
Yes, no, it is. Okay, so let's see. Now, I think you already told us who is your target audience, right? It's like, who do you target as far as your audience is? I mean, you say gamers, but is there any other kind of, when gamers, because I look at it as where, it's all about gaming, but there's another target out there that you can to watch you.
The target audience is probably because obviously gamers are going to search for that type of content regardless, but the whole goal is to try to like expose your content to as many people as possible. So I guess a a lot of the content that I've been trying to do lately when it comes to gaming is like guide style content. So maybe someone who isn't necessarily in the gaming world but is interested in it will stumble upon one of my videos and be like, hey, okay, well, this guy really just broke that down. Now I'm not so nervous about trying to get into this game because I kind of know a little bit more going into it. So I guess that would be like the additional target audience. It's kind of that like rollover effect into people that maybe they're not in the gaming sphere.
Right. Right. Okay.
But the age group tends to be like, if you look at my YouTube analytics, I think it's like I have people from like the 10 to 15 age bracket all the way up to like the 30s and 40s, and that's like the 10 to 50 is like where the majority of my audience is.
Okay.
But there's surprisingly a lot more in the 30 to 50 range than I thought would be. So I guess
Really?
Video games are definitely becoming more mainstream for sure.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. Wow, I never thought of. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So I know you already answered that Gary Vee inspires you. Is there anyone else that inspires you?
I mean, there's probably a whole list of people that inspire me. Off the top of the head, I can't think of anybody. I should have came more prepared.
Oh no, hey, we didn't prepare you for the questions, but yeah, there you go.
Well, I wanted to go in blind and just have fun with it. So
no, that's how you do it. That's how we do it. Yes.
As honestly, it would probably just be him. To be honest, there's Gary Vee, and then as far as the content creation side, you guys might have not heard of him because it's a little more specific into my niche, but he's definitely growing. There's this guy on Twitter. You might want to check him out. His name is Harris Heller. He's been in the music industry, like the music production side of things, for like over 10, 15 years with him and his wife. And he recently got into content creation and like YouTube and streaming over the last 5 years. And he, in my opinion, is the best resource for someone trying to get into any of this stuff. So I can only tell you my experience, but I can tell you that he has been an absolute godsend for me over the last 2 years with like learning how to do things with YouTube and live streaming and like what type of content works, what type of thumbnails people click on YouTube, that type of stuff. So Harris Heller on Twitter, if you're not already following him and you're into this type of stuff, I suggest you do, because you're going to learn a lot.
Got you. All right, so this is not on our little cheat sheet, but you don't have to know this. But as far as money-wise, is the budget for being a content creator, how do you go about, saying, hey, this is what I need to spend, how much, the kind of equipment to use? What can you share with viewers with that as far as when it comes to that?
A lot of it can get really expensive really fast if you're trying to just have like the best equipment. Like this Blue Yeti microphone, I mean, I've had it for a couple of years, but even this microphone was $150 for just the microphone without the arm and like the pop filters and all. So it can get very, very expensive very fast. For most new content creators, I would suggest doing your research on Google and YouTube and looking for budget startup kits, because there's a lot of like, you can do a lot with the computer software to make your microphone sound better in post-production. So you don't need to buy like a $500 studio microphone to get started. And I don't endorse that at all, because you're going to buy a $500 studio microphone and, $1,000 worth of other equipment to stream or make content for basically nobody at first, because you haven't gotten your name out there yet. So right. I would go the cheapest route possible and get everything budget just to get you started. And, there's endless resources out there for that type of stuff. Like what's the best microphone under $50 for YouTube, stuff like that. That's the definite route I would suggest, because when I first started and, I was working a lot, I was like, I'm just going to dump all this money into this. And then nobody watched. So it didn't make a difference at the end of the day.
It's disappointing when that happened. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
So disappointing. Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely start off small, because at the end of the day, if you make good enough content, people are going to subscribe, people are going to follow. And then as money starts coming in from the stuff that you've built for yourself, then reinvest, just like a business. You just reinvest into better equipment over time. That's what you have to do.
So pretty much it's more mainly about the content.
Right.
Yeah.
Overall, no matter what, even if you have equipment or not.
Right. I mean,
for putting out.
Like, don't get me wrong. Nobody in today's day and age is going to go to a YouTube video that's in like 160p and watch through it. It's just not going to happen. So the higher quality you can make it, the better. You know what I mean? If you're putting out 1080p content, whether it's a streaming or YouTube video, like okay, you already got the quality thing down, so people are not going to tune out because of that. Another thing is audio. Like your audio's got to sound decent at least. So those two things, video and audio, make sure they're at least up to par, and then after that, it's all like whatever's in your video. Like if people get bored, they're gonna leave. So your intro hook better be decent to keep them around, or you've already lost them. That's pretty much it.
Right. Yeah. All right. I got like some other questions, Denise, under my sleeve. Now, any pet peeves? Because Stuff to Discuss is about pet peeves most of the time. But what pet peeves do you have with other contents that you would say that you like, do not like, that kind of gets under your skin when you're watching other things or hear about their lives?
I don't know that I have a lot of pet peeves with other content creators necessarily, or types of content. I guess I'm not a huge fan of like clickbaity stuff that like you click on a thumbnail or a title on a YouTube video.
Yes.
And then you watch through 10 minutes and you realize, well, I just got duped into watching a 10-minute video that has nothing to do with this title.
I hate that trickery.
And they all they did that for is to get you to click. And now that you've already clicked, they made their advertiser money and they're on with it. They won when you did that, basically. Right. So that's like my biggest pet peeve. But a bigger pet peeve that I have with people, and this is people that watch me, sometimes, it's not everybody, but there's a couple people, I don't know why people think this is going to work, but I have people that'll come to a new piece of content that I put out. It's either a YouTube video or a TikTok. They've never been there before. It's their first time to the channel, and they're immediately asking for something of me. Like, hey, can you go watch this video? Can you give me a shout out? Stuff like that. It's like, it just comes off disrespectful because it's like, this is your first time ever engaging with my content, and it's not a genuine engagement. It's not, hey, great piece of content, hey, this. It's immediately asking for a favor. And it's like, that's not how you grow anything. It's just, you know what I mean? That's one of my biggest pet peeves is people just immediately asking for things. They're not there for my content. They're there because of my platform and the following, and they just want to try to piggyback off of it. That's a no-go for me. Yeah.
Well, it's like, what can you do for me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Any question, Denise, that you have under your little sleeve that you would like to ask?
You're more prepared than I was.
I was not prepared, but I know exactly. Well, no, as he's explaining, then I kind of.
Yes.
Right.
But do you no question?
I guess I don't know if it's really a question, but I'm amazed how he can just pull things like it seems like out of thin air and create content.
Right.
And then, like how most of us have just this block where you're like, oh.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
like if you ever would have a block, how do you push through that?
Okay. Yeah, that's what.
That's a good one. See?
That's a great question because I've had, since I've started on TikTok like 6 months ago, I've had like multiple days where I just wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, what am I going to do today? And nothing comes to mind. And nothing at all. Like, I'm just like, damn, the well is dry today.
Right.
The best thing to do is get inspired. Like, and that doesn't mean rip off other people, but just like, if I can't come up with anything, I'm going to just spend 3 to 4 hours going on YouTube in the areas that I like to watch. I'm going to go on TikTok, same thing. And I'm just going to scroll through content. I'm just going to, you got to get sparked by someone else. No one, I hate to break it to a lot of people, but most people have never had an original thought. It's always from someone else. They're always inspired. You're always inspired by someone else. And that's how I grew up, like with my YouTube and my TikTok. I've always been inspired by other creators, and I look up to them, and I've modeled pieces of their content around what I do without completely biting their style. I've been like, dang, I really like how they do that. I'm going to try to do it a little bit that way, but I'm going to put my twist on it. And that's how you keep going. You always have to look to others that you look up to and aspire to be, at that level or higher. Like you just, it's tough. Mental block feels a lot like writer's block, I would imagine, with people writing books and stuff like that. And it's annoying. Some days I wake up and I have 10 ideas. Some days I wake up and I feel like I took 3 steps backwards. But you got to just look for inspiration in other people's work, I think, is probably the best thing.
All right, Jason, we're going to go on to our speed round trivia questions that we usually ask our interviewers, our guests. So tell me when you're ready.
Go for it. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Invisibility or super strength?
Visibility.
Awesome. Place you most want to travel?
Japan.
Awesome. favorite childhood TV show?
Rugrats or possibly SpongeBob as well. Depends on the time
he's
period.
awesome. He's awesome. Yeah. Let's say texting or is it texting or talking?
Definitely texting. Not a phone call guy anymore.
If you could travel back in time, what period would you go to?
Probably like the Roman Empire. See like Julius Caesar and all that.
I can see you I can see it all. Yeah, I can see it. Have you ever worn socks with sandals? Be honest.
Yes. With like Adidas slides though. We're not talking about like the thong sandals that would wedge the sock in between my toe. None of that. But
it's all about fashion with stuff to discuss. I guess that. Okay.
Yeah.
How many pull-ups can you do in a row?
If it was 5 years ago, like I said, like 20 probably, but now like maybe 2 or 3. It's not too much shape anymore.
You can do more than that now. Yeah. Okay. Big dogs or small dogs?
I've had both, and I'd definitely say probably big dogs. If I get another dog, it'd be a big dog.
Gotcha. Right. Would you go to a movie alone?
Yeah, absolutely. If I wanted to see the movie bad enough, I wouldn't need somebody to go with me.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so LA or New York? Like I know you've been to both.
I've been to both, and personally, I'm just going to go with New York. I don't know. There's just something about the Big Apple for me. But if I go to LA again soon, after all this whole COVID thing is done, I might change my mind. I just haven't been there in a while.
Well, you haven't missed nothing. There you go. Okay. If there was hair in your soup at a restaurant, would you return it?
Nope. I'd probably just pick it out and still eat it, to be honest with you.
Look at you. Hey, I'm with you on that one. Okay. And the last one, what's the most boring thing ever you've done?
Still to this day is just sitting in the DMV waiting to like renew a registration or something like that. I cannot stand waiting for the number to be called for 3 hours. So,
well, they don't call them anymore, right? It's
no, yeah, it's all like digital and stuff, but still, and a lot of stuff you can do online, but I hate it there. It's just
I know, right? Yeah, I got you. Well, thank you again for that, Jason. All right, well, Denise, go on.
Okay, can you tell us and your viewers what type of creative content can we expect from you coming up?
For me specifically, I plan on covering a lot more of Call of Duty content if you're into gaming. And soon Halo Infinite, the new Halo title, is coming out, I believe, in the fall with like the new Xbox and PS4 consoles that are launching this holiday season. So I'll probably be covering a little bit of all of that. So Call of Duty content, Call of Duty, Halo, and probably talk about the new consoles a little bit and dive into those. But other than that, just new TikToks every day. At least every other day uploads with YouTube and Twitch streaming live pretty much every night. So you can catch me on any one of those platforms.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, thank you again for your time, Jason. You are awesome. And we hope everything goes well for you. I'm pretty sure it will. And you're watching Stuff to Discuss, one-on-one with Stuff to Discuss with me and Denise. And don't forget to comment, you guys. And thumbs up this video. I always forget that part for some reason. Thumbs up this video, ring that bell, and share this video because we want you to share and more people to see Jason and our other interviewers that we interview. So watch out for more interviews. So thanks again. Bye.